This is the new trailer for the new Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn.
This yet.
You haven't watched it yet?
I haven't had a chance. I've been working the past several days, and I literally didn't know that we were looking at this until I was like closing my eyes, and you said 10 o'clock in the morning, and I cried. And I was like, oh my God, I have an extra hour of sleep. And then I was like, wait, Suicide Squad trailer. I'll watch it tomorrow.
All right, let's do this. So let's play it and see how we react to it.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
This coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head.
We don't leave one of our own behind.
They're still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
You know the deal. Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence.
Next Ariana Grande.
Times are hard. You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
That's what they think the vaccine.
This is the famous Suicide Squad.
They can't say from the director part of the galaxy, unfortunately.
No, like they should.
They can't.
Num num.
He thinks it's so ugly hot.
Oh, questions?
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
we're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's the deal. We fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Hardly. Although, that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Don't you worry, eh? I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh my God! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
That's Starro.
It's like angels are splooching all over us.
Look at that. Look, I want us to take a quick look at this this cast here. So we have Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, Jay Courtney, Peter Capaldi, David Dastmalchian, Daniela Melchior, Michael Rooker, who I love, Alice Braga, who I love, Pete Davidson, Joaquin Cosio, Juan Diego Bodo, Storm Reed, whom I love, Nathan Fillion, Taika Waititi, Steve Agee, Sean Gunn, Flula Borg, Mei Ling, I'm not going to mess up that last name, I don't know how to say it, Tanash Kajej Bolden, Jennifer Holland, Julio Cesar Ruiz, Sylvester Stallone, and Viola Davis. Initial thoughts. What are your thoughts on the first trailer for Suicide Squad?
I am ready for Starro. Are we familiar with Starro from the?
I didn't know much about Starro until after I watched the trailer, I was like, "What is that?" And then I saw Twitter blowing up. Like they were so happy to see Starro. And I read one thing that Starro
likes to take control of people and like turn them like again, like he's like always a world conqueror. So like you see that right there, him like taking over that little girl. He'll make those little baby stars and it'll go to like people and it'll be on their faces and it'll like control them. So I'm interested to see who the Suicide Squad's about to get controlled by Starro. I'm interested in that.
Yeah. Did you like it? Are you excited for it?
Yeah, it looks really fun. It looks like it's gonna be James Gunn a little bit off the leash.
Mm.
You know, I feel like with Marvel, he has to kind of hit so many kind of beats and so many
Sure.
bullet points that they expect from him.
Right.
And I feel like I remember it in an interview with James Gunn, DC basically came to him and was like, here's money, do it. Just make it. We don't care what you do. You can do whatever you want. And he was given free reign to write whatever he wanted and create
Nice.
whatever he wanted. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping that
I know that there's also what's his face? John Cena's character is getting his own TV show called The
Yes, I
Peacemaker, which is coming on HBO Max at some point. Bruce,
James
what are your
Gunn
thoughts
also comes
on
out.
Suicide Squad trailer?
I mean, it looks like it's going to be great. A lot of fun, amazing. I'm sure really cool visuals. I'm a little like John said, it's James Gunn unleashed. But the fact, I feel like it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but R-rated. You know, and it's sad. It's a shame because, again, I just not trying to put down DC.
You can.
Much, but
Michael you should meet Michael because he would be the first place of that fan club.
It's just like
opinions are
it's just
valid.
Marvel has said it. Marvel has done it. They took 12 years to perfect this perfect universe they made, and now DC's playing catch up. So they poached James Gunn. I mean, he got released because of all that stuff. But they got James Gunn. They basically gave him like, here, you need to like help us make our movie, whatever, into something substantial so that we'll sell tickets and people will like it. And that's what he's doing. It's gonna be a great movie. I'm sure it will be a lot of fun.
Right.
But it seems like Guardians 3, like misfit cast, but now a lot more cursing, a lot more inappropriateness, a lot more gore. So it's a shame. I feel like to a certain extent that's I guess what DC is resorting to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I gotcha.
Like if they could, would they poach the Russo brothers to make their next Justice League?
100%.
You know what I mean? Like it's just a shame. Like they did it. James Gunn is a great director and a great writer, and he obviously made some great things happen with Guardians. But now DC is just like saying like, here, can you just come do that with us? and we'll even give you something more by like, do whatever you want. Here's all the money, make it R-rated, whatever you want. James Gunn, who would turn that down? Who would turn down?
Right, and this cast, like how can you say no to this cast, right? Like,
I mean, it's going to be great.
Anybody
It's going to be star-studded and all that. But that's my only worry. DC is usually like, big shiny things, right? But usually no substance behind it. So hopefully James Gunn is a substance type of person,
right?
So hopefully we're putting
it's funny. It's funny you say that because I liked this trailer, but what else had a really good first trailer? The very first Suicide Squad.
It had an amazing trailer.
The first trailer for the first Suicide Squad was fantastic.
Those DC film trailers are so good.
Yes, that might have been one of my favorite DCEU trailers I've ever seen.
I thought Batman vs Superman trailer was amazing.
The Wonder Woman 1984 trailer kicked ass too. The Wonder Woman
Jared, did it?
Yes, it did. Kyrus, we will fight over it, okay? In 10 years, we will talk about Wonder Woman 1984 the way we talk about things like Mommy Dearest and also Supergirl. They will
You are having some hot takes today, sir.
Wonder Woman 1984 will become a camp classic in 10 years. I promise you that. We will be quoting it and make jokes about it. I'm telling you.
You're probably right. It will become a camp classic. But the sad thing is that what they set out to do?
No, but that's not what they set out to do for Supergirl or Mommy Dearest either. But those movies are camp legends.
Jared with the hot takes today. I love it.
Jared, that being said,
what are your thoughts on Suicide Squad?
I think it's cool. Like I said, it's like weird. So I'm like, is it Suicide Squad 2? Like, is it number 2?
Right.
Or like, are we just like pretending that Suicide Squad 1 didn't happen? So.
Right.
I think it looks really cool. I agree. Very much. So here's what I love about, I'm like, how do I not be so long-winded? Here's what I love about the Guardians movies is if you watch Endgame, okay, as soon as they go to when we're the beginning of Star-Lord's story, we hear, what's the song? Come and Get Your Love. We hear it, okay? And it's so indicative of the Guardians is that style of soundtrack, which now I think we're learning is very much James Gunn. But with that being said, for me, it did feel a little very much that where I'm like, okay, we have lots of
you hear that song in the background.
Yeah, we have like a 70s, late 70s, early 80s soundtrack. So it's like very much for me, like I was like, okay, I get it. I think it's cool. I will definitely watch it. I'm way more excited about it than I have been other DC films. I said this to Bruce. I've said this to you guys before, although it does favor my own interests. I feel like Marvel has become like the Beyonce of superhero movies, where it is, in my opinion, at a level that it is such a perfected product like Beyonce that it is difficult to compare it to things in the same genre. So I feel like Beyonce, you can't compare it to the other superhero films because in my mind, Marvel is so much higher. So what, in my opinion, has been very successful that is like the antithesis of that, The Boys or Watchmen, these other shows that go in a completely other direction. So they're able to hone in on that. This thing that DC's trying to do, it's almost like Wizard of Oz, like where I'm like, do you guys think we don't see that you're trying to copy a formula that took Marvel a decade to perfect? Like, no one knew that the Avengers was coming when Iron Man 1 came out. We hoped for it, but no one like knew it was going to happen. Even I would say like a few movies in, we're all like, all right, we know that we've done the cut scenes. We know that they're going to do the Avengers. When are the Avengers coming? With this, it's like, I would almost love it if they didn't even, I love the Suicide Squad, but I would have almost loved if we got like maybe a Harley Quinn film, or if we got something that was more one character focus. And then in the long game, 5 or 6 years later, we get a more ensemble piece, because the biggest criticisms of these DC films is that they lack substance. We get like action, we get hot people fighting, we get like cool superpowers, but then like at the end of it, we don't really know what happened. So I think James Gunn will change that. I think Suicide Squad will be good, but selfishly, I don't know. It's like finding like a diamond in a pile of poop where you're like, okay, like this is great, but are there any more diamonds in here? Do I want to keep looking through the shit for the diamond? It's like,
sure.
Yeah,
I definitely see your point there. And I'm hopeful.
I think it'll be great.
I think it's going to be better than the first Suicide Squad. I know that there's been, since the release of the Snyder Cut, a lot of people have been saying release the Ayer cut for David Ayer, who directed the first Suicide Squad, who said that, you know, the version that we got to see is not the version that he wanted out there. But I know that neither John or Jared want that, because neither of them like Jared Leto, and that would mean that they would get more Jared Leto if they were to release the Ayer cut. I would be the one person in our little group that would be excited.
Meryl Streep as
exactly, man. So extra. Like
we're not hashing it again.
Chewing the scenery.
We're not hashing this again.
Goes,
no. We're not doing that.
Lord Jesus, kill
that's hilarious.
Fire.
Okay, so friends, let's
but wait, really quick. I do have to say, sorry to cut you off, but I'm unbelievably excited for John Cena. I love John Cena in everything he's in, and I think superhero movies will be, I'm almost sad he's not in a Marvel film, because I feel like superhero movies are going to be like his lane.
Well, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, the fact that they already gave Peacemaker a TV show, I think says a lot about the character that we're about to see.
His lane is that like dry comedy. He's so beautiful to look at, but he's a good actor. Like I'm very he's probably the person I'm the most excited of the new people, and Idris obviously, but I'm very excited.